The Potash Wars are here, the Potash Wars. And what am I talking about? Anytime I post anything, something discussing how people are reading things wrong when it comes to America doing things or sanctioning or putting things together. I did a recent video not long ago how Fat-Face Ford is shutting off the power to America and starting to charge them sanctions on their power. But here's the thing a lot of people don't understand is that America has been self-sufficient in its power for years now. All it has to do is put back all those coal plants that they've taken down during the Obama administration to go green. All they have to do is put those coal plants back up and they're good to go. Really, overnight, they could get back to where they belong. But what do people do in the comments? They are trashing me and they are telling me that, okay, well, if they have power, then we could destroy them with the potash. The Potash Wars. We could starve the Americans with potash. And then if they can't have potash, they can't grow any crops. And America won't survive. Well, here's the deal with that Potash Wars and potash and getting them with the potash. And Canada controls the potash. Well, here's the deal. America does have potash reserves. But it relies heavily on Canada because the extraction in the U.S. hasn't been ramped up to the same level. However, if the U.S. decides to increase domestic production, it will create roughly 11,971 American jobs. That's going to create more jobs in the private sector. Where are you going to find this potash? The Paradox Basin in Utah, Colorado, Arizona, and New Mexico, right, has vast potash reserves and large portions remain untapped, enough to supply the United States for over 200 years. Yes, 200 years. And it's creating American jobs too. Americans don't have to buy Canadian potash. Carlsbad, New Mexico, they're actively already mining potash, and it's been mined since the early 20th century, but underutilized compared to Canada. So all they have to do is just upgrade it. That's all they have to do. Williston Basin, North Dakota, Montana. Massive potash deposits found alongside oil reserves. Has deep potash beds, and it's remained largely unexplored. Michigan Basin. Large potash deposits exist in underground salt formations. Deposits could be mined similarly to Saskatchewan's potash reserves. The Permian Basin, West Texas and southeastern New Mexico. Known for oil but rich in potash reserves, untapped. Could sustain America for up to 80 to 140 years in reserves. And here's the deal. America only needs to develop its potash and mining sectors, and it will create 11,971 American jobs. And also Americans could dump the potash on the open market, world markets, and disrupt potash prices, and in turn disrupt Canadian potash production and sales and pricing globally. So people in the comments saying we're going to starve Americans by not giving them the potash they need to grow their stuff. America's always had the potash they needed within their own boundaries. Because of a lot of the Obama and Biden green stuff, they stopped a lot of the coal burning plants, and they stopped a lot of the other, like potash mining, coal mining. So all they have to do is put that industry back online. And guess what? If this basin here, this Paradox Basin in Utah, could supply the United States for 200 years, it's a win-win. So everybody in the comments now, comment below and tell me what else Canada could do to America that's going to cripple America, right? I made videos 10 years ago. America, wake up. Canada is your problem. Canada's your threat, not Iraq. Because of the amount of fentanyl and money laundering that we've been reporting on for 10, 15 years. Walking the empty streets of Vancouver, showing you how the real estate's been bought up by Chinese money launderers. And we've been warning you guys about this and warning Americans about this. Now it's becoming a thing all of a sudden. Now it's like this huge thing now. All of a sudden, it's a big problem. Right? So there it is right there in a nutshell, folks. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Canada deserves these sanctions, and go watch all my videos I made about this over the years. Canada deserves this because Canada isn't owned by Canada anymore, or the Canadian proper. It's owned by foreign nationals that came here to basically exploit Canada's real estate and launder money with fentanyl we got a big fentanyl bust in Canada. I'm like, we got him, we broke. There was no fentanyl there. They staged it as a fentanyl bust, which we reported on 4 months ago, just to throw off the tracks that the fentanyl isn't coming from China, but it's all coming from China. And the one in Juarez, 78 miles south of the U.S. border, in Benito Juarez down there, that's a Chinese fentanyl production factory there too. So Canada deserves everything it's getting because Canadians don't own Canada. Canada, if you live in Canada and you're born and raised and you can't get into your own real estate market because you can't afford an $800,000 house that you could buy in Alabama for 40 grand, we got problems. We don't have an economy when a Canadian proper isn't being hired at their own jobs because the Canadian government is funding migrants and foreign workers over Canadian proper. The Canadians built the banking system, the buildings, but they can't work in the banking system. It's all Chinese nationals. And they keep playing that same card. Canadians don't want to work. Now Canadians don't want to work. First it was Canadians don't want these low-wage jobs. Then Canadians don't want to work at banks and airports and all these places. Now Canadians don't want to work for the government. Now Canadians just don't want to work. And that's a spit in the face of the Canadians. And I've been trying to wake up Canada for so many years. Now it's coming. Now it's going to be all unveiled and it's going to be shown to the people. Good luck with your potash wars, Canada, because it's not going to do nothing. And you too, fat-face Ford, pulling off all the alcohol at the LCBO that was paid for by taxpayers. Oh, we're going to pull all this alcohol we bought from America. The taxpayers of Canada paid for your alcohol. Now you're pulling it off. You look like such an idiot. Oh, we're going to shut their power off. They're fully sufficient on power if they need it. Nobody gets it. Canada thinks it's going to win this. No, they're not. Canada is going to lose this because Canada is not owned by Canadians anymore. And that's it. Mike Martin's here. I have spoken.